Hello and welcome to episode 93 of the Unstoppable podcast. We are in the midst of the 8-day countdown to episode 100. The season 1 is going to be concluded, this special 8-part series. Yesterday was episode 92, which was the first after a long break since episode 91. If you want to know why there was a long break, then go back and listen to episode 92, where I talked about disregarding conventional thinking, and I also shared a little bit about what's been happening over the last 6 months here at Unstoppable HQ. Today's episode is entitled Dare to Dream, and I've got a big epic session for you right on point with today's session. So let's dive right into the episode. I'm ready to rock if you are. Alrighty, so we have been, as the human race, conditioned to think small, to simplify and to expect less and to demand less from life. And as a result, many people simply dream too small. I have a firm belief that we have infinite capacity, infinite potential to go way beyond what we imagine to be possible within our own lifetime. Yet the thought is, if we set small goals, then we'll be more likely to achieve them and we'll be happy when we exceed them. When if we'd stretched ourselves, the chances are we could have gone much further. And, we've been taught that it's important to be happy and thankful with everything that we've already got in life, and that we should settle once we've reached a certain level, we should get comfortable. And yes, I do agree, whilst it is important to be very grateful for what we do have and what we've already experienced, and of course, to be very proud of those achievements. But the problem is, with this type of thinking, is that we're cutting ourselves off from reaching our true potential. That settling mindset instantly puts the barriers up. But how do you know just how far you can go if you never try? For centuries, we've been trained to follow the system, do as we're told, but I'm here today to say to you, do not succumb to the tyranny of how things have always been done. The dreamers and the big thinkers are the ones who do indeed go and change the world. Johann van Gogh said, "Whatever you dream or believe you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." It's never easy, though, to be the one who challenges the status quo. Yesterday's session was all about disregarding the conventional thinking that we've been brought up to believe. It's certainly much easier to accept reality as it is. This is the way it's always been done, so why change it? Yet, Steve Jobs described life inside the comfort zone. He said, "When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family life, have fun, and save a little money." Yet Steve Jobs was a great example of a dreamer, a practical dreamer who pushed beyond the default. He challenged the status quo, and in response to the comfort zone, he said, "Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, and once you learn that, you'll never be the same again." That's maybe the most important thing, to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, and make your mark upon it. And Steve Jobs certainly did make a dent upon this universe with the work that he did with the Apple brand. And yet that's the hard part for many people who live with this notion that you just have to live your life and then you die. It may sound blunt to say this, but living life in the comfort zone is where most people tend to find themselves. It's so much easier to live life inside the comfort zone with no responsibility, no friction, no challenge, and yet no fulfillment. Dreamers and thinkers do not operate this way. They don't follow the rules. They create them. You can live life in the comfort zone, or you can pursue your true north and create some magic on your own terms. Now get this. Here's the reality of this. Every single person who has ever had a big dream is just an ordinary person like you or I. Yet what makes them extraordinary is that they find the courage and the discipline to follow through and do what it takes to make that dream come true. So I ask you to give yourself permission to think beyond the obvious, to think beyond the comfort zone. Have wild fantasies and visions. Create a vision of a better life, one of success, abundance, and everything that in your heart of hearts you know that you desire. Allow yourself to free yourself from the limitations and dream big. I challenge you to dream big. Any person in history that's achieved wild results has been able to deeply envision their dreams before they even become a reality. There are countless examples throughout time. Every single person who's gone on to do something notable will attest to this. The dream itself precedes the reality, always. One of my favorite stories is of Walt Disney and how he envisioned Disneyland, that magical castle. He never got to see the end product, but he saw it in his mind. He did not need to even be there to see it as it is. Every dream starts first in the mind. And when you think big, you can become more, you can contribute more, you can experience more, you can achieve more, and you can have more, you can do more, you can share more. If you don't decide what you want your life to be all about, if you don't decide what you want your dream to be, then I can tell you right now that someone else is willing to do so, and they may already be doing this in your life. If you don't decide what you want, someone else will decide what they want to do with your life. So dare to dream. You are the creator of your destiny. What will your destiny be? And don't buy into a standard definition of success, whatever that means to you. Create a definition of success on your own. Create your own definition and be sure that it matches your aspirations, your values, what you stand for, what you represent, what's important to you, and not anyone else. It's not about what your parents think is successful. It's not about what your friends think successful is. And it's not even about what your coaches and mentors think. You see, people will judge you on something that they simply don't understand or can't comprehend. Not everyone is going to see things the way that you do, and I can tell you now that that's okay, because you're not seeking approval. You're not seeking approval. The only person you need to seek approval from and permission from is yourself. What if someone else's opinion prevented you from building something that people talked about way beyond your lifetime? In today's episode, I'll be quoting some fairly major people. We've already talked about Steve Jobs. He has been talked about day in, day out beyond his lifetime. Not everyone will believe what you see. However, this should not stop you from thinking bigger. Just this week, I was at a networking event. There was a young entrepreneur sharing his vision, sharing his ideas in a brainstorming session, and everyone was throwing in ideas about how he could grow the business. Yet some of these critics from the outside were throwing in information to this young guy that could have drastically changed his view of the world and even prevented him from taking action. They were estimating costs that were way outside of what are likely to be real for his business project based upon what he'd been talking about. Not everyone will see it the way you do. And some people will talk about you, some people will talk behind your back, some people will be naysayers, some people will be haters. But you don't have to listen. The only person you need to listen to is yourself. Think about all the dreams that have never been realized because people are just too afraid to share themselves with the world. Millions of people who feel their ideas are not worthy enough to be shared. And I can tell you from personal experience that it's taken me over 30 years of my life to give myself the permission to think big and to give myself the permission to recognize my own worth. You don't need to wait for someone else to give you permission. Give yourself permission today. And sure, it's not going to be easy. When you set big goals, you instantly open the door to big challenges. You'll certainly have to deal with setbacks and failures along the way, but surely it will be worth it. You see, experiencing some form of failure along the journey is an inevitable part and an important part of the experience towards success. Obstacles will come and go. They'll come along the way to challenge us and test us just how badly we want our dream. But it's up to us whether we will get worn down trying to overcome these obstacles or we will learn and simply grow from them. Start right now by creating a mindset in which you feel 100% capable of achieving whatever you set out to do. Start right now by creating that mindset where you feel 100% capable of achieving whatever it is you set out to do. That belief will carry you further than anything else. And failure itself, every temporary failure, is simply a marker on your road to success. Failure will only kill your dream if you quit. Your obstacles are here to guide you. The more new situations you expose yourself to, the more opportunities you will create. Henry Ford said, "A mistake may turn out to be the one thing necessary to a worthwhile achievement." No matter how many mistakes that you make or how fast or how slow you progress, you are still way ahead of everyone else who isn't even trying. Nobody's perfect. No situation is perfect. No plan is perfect. No time is right. The best time to start thinking big was yesterday, and the second best time is this very moment now. You don't need the perfect plan. Sometimes you just got to give it a shot. Have patience and see what happens. You just got to show up every day and work on your most important visions, your dreams, your wild fantasies. And whatever the outcome, all that really matters is that you showed up and you gave it a shot. So have faith. Be willing to make adjustments and pivot if necessary. And the magic will eventually happen, often in ways that you never expected. So, make the most of the time that you have right now. And if you're struggling to find your big idea, you can't see the dream yet, I understand. It takes time. We have to be willing to look for it first, though. If you're willing to seek, then you will find. But here's my parting piece of advice for this episode to help you to find your big idea, to clarify your visions, to help you unlock your wild fantasies as I've talked about today. My simple piece of advice is this: question everything and assume nothing. Let me say that again. Question everything and assume nothing. Don't take things on face value. Go deeper into how things work. Nothing beats a curious mind. How curious are you right now? Are you willing to question the world around you? When you operate from curiosity and you start questioning everyday things, products or services, you will begin to see opportunities everywhere, because every problem that you can find is an opportunity to find a solution and create it as part of your business, as part of your life's plan. So when you start operating from this curious mindset and you question everything around you, the ideas may actually never stop. The ideas will come to you in your ability to observe the world and think differently about the world that you see. So never stop questioning. Curiosity has always been a common trait amongst the geniuses and change makers of the world. Albert Einstein said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." A curious mind can relate and connect ideas better than those who accept the world as it is. When you stretch your brain to get answers to the questions that most people often ignore, you will discover a world that is yet to be found. Maintain an open mind and be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn if necessary. Anything new to your brain can stimulate it to find new ideas. So go out there and seek different skills, different ideas, different ideologies, different cultures, different perspectives, different belief systems. Go for the yin and the yang. If someone says with certainty this is how the world is, then go look for the polar opposite opinion and look for everything in between, because you can take anything away from me, but you'll never take my curious mind. When you free yourself from limitations and you unleash your creative and curious genius and allow yourself to think big, anything is possible for you, my friends. My rally call to you today is to dare to dream. Dare to dream. Allow yourself to experience the wonder of this planet, the wonder of your dreams, the magnificent extent of your imagination, your wild visions, your mad fantasies. Allow yourself to dream and create a life that is magnificent. And that is all I have for you today, my friends. The second rant in this Summer of Freedom series, the 8-part countdown to episode 100. Season 2 is on its way. Everything is open for change right now. The world is in transition. The world is always in transition. And whatever you are doing in your life right now is an opportunity to create change. The Summer of Freedom is about inspiring you to go beyond anything that you've experienced up till now and to recreate, reinvent, revolt, redefine, and recreate your existence in the way that is just right for you. My rally call to you is to turn on to your possibility, to tune in to your potential and what it is you really want out of life, and to rise up and be the leader that you were born to be. Turn on, tune in, and rise up. In the next episode in this series, I'll be talking about the missing link between thinking big and actually achieving your grand visions by sharing how you can break it down, your wild fantasies, into very specific goals. So now that you've given yourself that permission to think big, it's time now to connect your big dreams with what you need to be doing right now, this week, this month, this next 90 days, this year. Because you hold the pen, my friends. You are responsible for writing the story of your life. What adventures will the next chapter hold for you? It's time to create a design for your life. So until next time, go out there, unleash your greatness on the world, build your empire, make your impact, and live your ultimate life, because you, my friends, are unstoppable. Go out there, turn on to your potential, tune in to what it is you are here to do, and rise up and be the leader you were born to be. The summer of freedom is here. I'll be back again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this session. I'll be back for episode 94. Peace out for now. Remember, you are unstoppable.